Welcome to ZapD Rides. This is the brand new Macfox X7, and today we're gonna unbox it, assemble it, go over all the specs, and then we're gonna ride it and review it. We're gonna let you guys know if this bike is worth the money. Let's go. The new Macfox X7 comes in at a price point of $1,599 and has two frame options. This is the standard frame that you see in the video, and they also have the X7L, which is a taller frame for taller riders. You can also option this bike with dual batteries. That increases the price to $1,999, and today we'll be testing the shorter version of the frame with a single battery. The rear hub motor on the X7 is a 500 watt motor with a peak output power of 750 watts, which is supposed to power this bike to a top speed of 25 miles per hour, which we'll be verifying and testing later on in the video. The battery that powers this bike is a 48 volt 13 amp hour battery, which is supposed to allow this bike to ride for up to 30 miles of range. We'll also be testing that later on in the video. At a claimed weight of only 87 pounds, this bike should feel light and nimble and fun to ride. All right, let's get this baby unboxed and assembled. Whoa, those are big tires. Holy, look at that.
Crap.
That's huge. Our box is out. Look at that beast. These tires are huge. Look at that. Just gotta go. That's pretty cool. Look at that. Charger, kickstand, left, right. Give you this little multi-tool. Let's get our battery plugged in. To remove your battery, pop your key in, just turn it, and it just pulls up, slides out. We're just gonna pop it over here and plug it in. You can also charge it on the bike. First thing we're gonna put on is our handlebar. Loosen up our stem right here, the 4mm Allen. Okay, so when you get this, you just gotta rotate it all the way around so it's facing the right way. Put this back on. All right, time to put our front wheel on. These little nuts come with this little plastic piece already attached on here. So we'll slide it off. And then we'll grab our wheel, lift it up, put it in those slots, super simple. And then we'll grab our two screws and our spacer. This will go right like that with our screw going through it. Just like this. And then you'll thread it in. Same on the other side. Next up is our kickstand, which I would actually recommend doing before your front wheel, because then your bike will stand up on its own. Your bolts will already come in. You need to take them out, put them in your hand, and then this is gonna mount on the inside, just like that, so that they actually have something to thread into. You gotta line it up, thread your bolt in. Now, stand up on its own. All right, time for our pedals. You'll notice we got an L and an L for left and left. To thread it in, you will spin both sides forward, and it's a 15mm right here. Nice and tight. The trick I have is you hold the pedal and spin it, and it threads all the way in. You just gotta tighten it at the end. These are passenger foot pegs. Time to put on our headlight. So the brackets are already set up on the bike, as you can see right here. You may have to adjust them inward or outward just by pushing it. If it's too tight, you would loosen this bolt and nut to be able to adjust it. You're gonna just line it up so that it will fit perfectly on these top holes right over the top like this. So we're gonna pull those nut and bolt off right here. We're gonna take off our nut and bolt. There's a Phillips head and a 10 mil. Loosen that. Also has a washer. Mount this on. We're gonna go bolt, then we're gonna go washer, and then we're gonna go through the bracket, just like that. Grab our nut, put it on the inside. We don't need to tighten this side all the way down yet. We're gonna get the other side on before we do that. Just get it threaded on. Now it's not gonna fall off. Bolt through there, through our washer, and up through. I'm just gonna pull this bracket a little bit so it lines up right. Looking pretty good. Grab our nut, put that on, make sure we're looking straight, and we'll tighten her up. Perfect. Then we just have one plug right here. The blue plug that's coming out of the frame needs to go into the light. There is an arrow on each one to make sure we plug it in on the arrows. Perfect. The last thing you're gonna do to assemble this bike is do a full once-over bolt check. This is something I always recommend with any type of vehicle that you're assembling because, like, look at this. This brake is totally loose from the factory, as is this one. So we're gonna wanna tighten everything up, basically just touch every bolt and make sure that it is tight so that this bike is safe when we ride it. And we're also gonna inflate the tires. We're gonna go off the recommended tire pressure here on the side. Let's see what we got. 15 to 35 PSI. So if you want a nice soft ride, 15 PSI. If you want a more firm ride that's gonna be more efficient for longer rides, up to 35 PSI or anywhere in between. I'm gonna set them at 25, we'll be good to go. All right guys, it's time to weigh the X7 and see if it is accurate on the spec sheet. They quote it at 87 pounds with the battery. Let's check it out. 88.8 pounds. That's not bad. That's only 1.8 pounds heavier than they say, which is spot on. Let's pop the battery out and see what the battery weighs by itself. Bingo. We lost about 8.5 pounds. So this thing is only 8.5 pounds. That is not very heavy. I can throw it right at you. All right, guys, here we go. The Macfox X7, baby. We are cruising. We're going about 25 miles an hour on our display, 25.4. Let's see how fast on our GPS. I always like to do a little speed test. You guys can see that, 24.4 miles an hour. For reference, I weigh nearly 200 pounds, about 195 pounds. I'm 6'3" in height, so I'm a little tall for this bike. Pedaling is a little bit of a stretch. The seat's kind of too low for how long my legs are. So I'm gonna mostly be using the throttle today, cruising. We got our headlight on for safety. I've been riding in assist level 3 to have the maximum amount of power. So far the bike is really nice and smooth. If we hit a little bit of a hill, we do accelerate a little bit. I'm getting 28 miles an hour on the speedo there for a minute. Now it settles back down to 25 as it's flattened back out. Cruising in the bike lane. These large 20-inch by 5-inch wide tires feel really nice and comfortable. The bike feels well balanced, feels good. The hydraulic disc brakes feel nice. Little brake stop is see Romney go flying by. Nice little brake stop. So as part of our reviews for every different bike and scooter that we test, we kind of do a range test while we're riding them. It's not going to be incredibly consistent between the models, but I got my GPS in my pocket. I am recording the distance of the ride today, so we'll keep you guys updated as we go. And by the end of the video, you know, you guys will know kind of a rough idea of the kind of range that you can get on this specific model. We're gonna hop on the paved path here. take it for a cruise. We're gonna go right here. And I think we're gonna have a nice little tailwind, which will be cool. I think the wind's blowing this way. Let's check out the front suspension. Feels nice, takes the edge off the bumps. The seat is nice and comfortable. And I really like the grips. The hand grips are really comfortable. They feel like almost upgraded grips. Where a lot of the times the grips that come on these bikes are just terrible. These feel good. Let's see how far we've gone today. We'll do an update. We're at 3.5 miles. We've been riding for 10 minutes. Maximum speed 27.3 miles an hour. These corners are sure fun. I do really like these hub motor bikes that are so smooth and quiet, because you can just cruise. There's no gears that you have to worry about or shift. You can just hit that throttle and go. It's just nice and smooth. So we go into the tunnel. Here we go. Pelicans. Nice. It's beautiful. I seen a duck, a cow, pelicans, birds. So we have gone quite a long ways already, 7.4 miles on the GPS, 20 minutes of riding. We've been pretty much riding the whole time consistently, 20 minutes, max speed 27 miles an hour. So far, the bike is really comfortable. The grips are excellent. I kind of already talked about these. These feel like really high quality. It's a good feeling material. Usually I hate stock grips on bikes and I always change them out. These feel phenomenal. The brakes are bedding in nicely. They're getting more powerful as we go. The lever feel is really nice and firm on the stop, and they are adjustable where you can move that lever a bit and adjust it. This red one. Unplug that. I don't like brake sensors. They essentially cut your power when you're using the throttle. I just don't need that. I can just release my thumb or stop pedaling when I need to. I don't know why the horn isn't working. There's got to be something that we just didn't plug in, or maybe this wire isn't plugged in all the way. Let's check it out.
The light is turning on and off.
Oh, that's not a horn. That's a headlight, and this is high and low beam. Okay, well, who's the idiot now? That's why my horn doesn't work. It's me.
Is there a horn at all?
No, there's no horn.
So this is high and low.
High and low, and that's just on and off for the headlight.
Headlight.
No horn, that's okay. We don't need a horn.
You can just say, look out!
Get out of the way, I'm coming through! That's how you do it. So you can pedal pretty easily up to about 20 miles an hour, and then the bike's just not geared high enough to actually like pedal. You'd have to spin your legs so fast to actually do anything, and it wouldn't really work. So then you can full throttle up to, 25, 26 miles an hour. I got a pretty good tailwind right now. Let's try it on this hill, see how we do. So far, so good. Going up over the freeway. You can check out the view. It's nice. It's a cool new bridge. Down the hill we go, 31 miles an hour, 32, 33, we're cruising. There was ostriches at the farm. Really big ones?
Yeah. Those are huge.
Pretty sure they're ostriches.
Those are ostriches.
Man, yeah, look, we're in Utah. There's the mountains right there. We are not in wherever they live. Africa. The Macfox can take you to interesting places. You can see cows, ostriches, birds, pelicans, horses, all of the creatures. I wonder what that is up there. That is a cow. There's a horse over there. Check it out. We got to keep going. We're at like 9 miles. We got to burn this battery down. To my right are a bunch of beehives. There goes Romney. He's a zoomer. He's zooming. Zooming. Well, Maverick ain't open. Well, we were gonna go over into Maverick and get us a Mountain Dew, but it's not even done being built yet. It's a brand new one. Not open for business. Yeah. Okay, let's go. All right, guys, here's the deal. We've done 33 minutes of riding, 10.5 miles, and we just went from full bars to 3 out of 5, and then a second ago it actually went to 2 out of 5, but now it's back to 3 out of 5. So, and we're still riding away from where we started. 10.7, it's going down.
Going down finally?
It's going down. So we're gonna loop back around here, and I think we're gonna end up with about 20 miles, nearly. That'll be pretty cool.
You've been in mode 3 the whole time?
Yep. Mode 3 the whole time, going full throttle. All these new apartments and condos. Yeah. So far, for the price point that the X7 is, I think it's a really good value because a lot of the main features on it are really nice. Like the brakes, for instance, are hydraulic disc and they actually feel high quality. Where a lot of other e-bikes of this price point, they just don't quite feel as high quality in my opinion. The display is working well. The light is nice. It's nice to have the high beam and the low beam. It's nice that you can disconnect the brake sensors. The grips are comfortable, the seat is comfortable. I really like the large tires. I have them pumped up to like 25 PSI and they're pretty dang stiff over the bumps, but you can let a lot of air out and ride them significantly softer than I am today. And I kind of like that this bike has everything you need and nothing extra. It's simple. Simple yet works. All right, guys, a little update for you. 42 minutes of riding. We've gone 14 miles. Climbing up over the overpass here, headed back towards home. It's going well. We're down to 2 out of 5 bars. Yeah, let's go. This one. I'm at 1 bar. It just ticked. I gotta keep my momentum. My battery's getting low, I gotta pedal, but that's the beauty of an e-bike. You can still pedal if you have to. My legs are strong. Well, Grandma wasn't home, so that's disappointing. We can't get a snack. We gotta go keep riding. And it's not looking great because, oh, I'm at 3 bars now. I was down to 1 bar. And now I'm back at 3, so there's a chance we'll make it home on the Macfox. Let's see how far we've gone. Let's see here, 16 miles. Psh, looking good. Not bad. So, and I've been in mode 3, the highest power level, going full throttle the entire way. Again, I'm 6'3" and 195 pounds, so I'm not a small, kid riding this. So the range is pretty good so far, it seems like. What do you think? I mean, the Hyper-B's dying.
Hyper-B's dying.
So we're doing good. That is true. This has a 330 pound weight limit, and it does feel really strong and secure and stuff.
175 pounds.
That is true.
So,
but that has like really soft suspension set up for kids to ride it off-road. We're getting closer. The Hyper-B hit 20% and it's slowing down. That's full speed.
That's full speed?
That's full speed, and I went down to mode 2. Let's try 3. Let's see if I can go any faster. I'm doing 18. Come on! I gotta win! Come on, let's go!
That's crazy that you're not faster.
Barely. There's a car. You'll pass me now. Once we hit a hill. There we go.
Go!
But I can pedal. I'm gonna try to catch up by pedaling. Come on! Look. Yeah! That was a lot of work, but I passed him. All right, guys, it is about time to wrap up our review of the Macfox X7. Thank you so much for watching. Some final thoughts on this bike. I think it performed actually exceptionally well, and I was quite impressed with the overall build quality of the vehicle. The brakes, as I mentioned earlier, they're super just strong, powerful, and they just feel and modulate really nice compared to a lot of this bike's competition. So I think they nailed the quality aspect. This has a nice tall handlebar, good grips. I love how large and I love how large and nice the tires are, to where you could deflate these, you could ride on sand, you could ride off-road, you could have tons of grip, traction, and they're really smooth for cornering. So I think they knocked this bike out of the park. And at the end of the day, we went 18.8 miles and we were riding for an hour and 6 minutes. And I was riding pretty much the entire time in the highest power level. Again, I weigh nearly 200 pounds and I'm a tall rider, and there's still some battery left. The bike didn't die, it was still doing nearly full speed, and it was kind of ticking between 1 bar and 2 bar left on the battery gauge out of 5. So we definitely, I think, could go a little bit further, and if you're a smaller, lighter rider, you're gonna go significantly further. Being a bigger guy makes a massive difference. This bike also has a weight limit up to 330 pounds, so you can be confident if you're buying this that it can really handle your weight. However, one thing I want to add, if you live near a lot of hills, this isn't going to be able to pull you up the hills very well. It doesn't have a whole lot of that low end torque that can pull you up the steep climb. So you're going to be just fine if you're smaller or lighter than I am, but if you're much bigger or heavier than I am, it's going to struggle for sure on the hills. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy this video. We have a ton more reviews of e-bikes just like this, including scooters as well, coming to the channel very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next video. See ya. Well, fronts are usually smaller than rears. They're just both massive.
You know what else is massive?
I am.
The tires